You've been asking for a deep dive into Lulu's IPO, so.
All right, let's unpack it.
Okay.
What's making this grocery giant's debut on the Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange such a hot topic in global finance?
Yeah.
It seems like everyone's buzzing about it.
Yeah, for good reason.
We're talking financial reports, analyst opinions,
Right.
market trends, you name it. We're sifting through it all to bring you the need-to-know info. And lucky for us,
Absolutely.
expert speaker is here to help us connect the dots.
Happy to be here.
Uncover what this IPO could mean for the future of the grocery industry, not just here, but globally.
Well, and that's what's fascinating here, is that Lulu's IPO is really kind of a microcosm of larger economic trends that we're seeing play out, particularly in the Gulf region.
Okay.
It's not just about groceries. It's a glimpse into the future of a region that's experiencing this, surge in consumer spending, foreign investment, really kind of the future is bright.
You hit the nail on the head. Our sources are painting a picture of a retail scene that is absolutely exploding in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And Lulu, with its 240-plus stores, is strategically positioned to capitalize on that.
Exactly. And they're not just going public quietly.
No.
I mean, offering a 25% stake right off the bat is a bold move that signals a strong desire to attract investors. Make a splash on the ADX.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten people's attention.
Sure.
And one detail that really jumped out from the reports is that guarantee of a minimum of 1,000 shares for each retail investor.
Wow.
Now, we don't see that every day.
That's incredible, yeah.
So it's a clear indication that Lulu is targeting a broad investor base, particularly within the UAE.
Sure.
It's a way to generate that excitement, make this IPO feel accessible.
Yeah, drum up that local support.
Exactly.
Which is huge.
So let's talk about Lulu beyond the IPO hype for a second.
Sure.
Because their story is, it's impressive.
Absolutely. Founded in 1974, they've evolved into this retail powerhouse. We're not just talking hypermarkets. They've got, express stores, mini markets.
Everywhere.
A robust online presence through these partnerships with giants like Amazon and Hunger Station.
They are everywhere.
They're really, they've got their finger on the pulse of the modern consumer.
Yeah, they do. And what I find really interesting is their private label strategy.
Oh, interesting.
The reports show that Lulu's private label products account for a significant chunk of their revenue.
Okay.
Even surpassing some of their competitors. So
it's huge.
It is. And it makes me wonder, what is it about their private label?
Right.
What's setting it apart?
Well, this vertical integration, as it's called, gives them greater control over their supply chain, their pricing, which is a huge advantage, especially with, all the global supply chain disruptions we've seen lately.
Exactly. And not only have they managed to weather those storms, but they've expanded their reach, both physically and digitally. So
yeah, they're firing on all cylinders.
It seems like it.
It seems like it.
It's a very impressive company.
Indeed, yeah. It really is an impressive operation they've got going.
So let's dig into the details of this IPO, because that's why a lot of people are so excited about Lulu right now.
Sure.
What are some of the key figures that have analysts so excited?
Well, I think, that 75% dividend payout ratio is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
Especially for a company at this stage in the game.
Right.
It's a bold move that suggests
it really is
that Lulu is exceptionally confident in their future profitability.
75%. That's incredibly generous.
It's huge.
It is. No wonder investors are seeing dollar signs.
Yeah. It's a huge incentive. For investors that are looking for those steady returns. And it seems like analysts are in agreement. A lot of them are predicting this could be one of the hottest IPOs the UAE has seen in a while.
It's definitely generating a lot of buzz. But you mentioned something earlier about this being part of a bigger trend.
Well, absolutely. While Lulu's individual story is very compelling, this IPO is really just one data point in a much larger narrative.
Okay.
We're seeing this surge in IPOs across the Gulf region, particularly in the consumer goods sector.
Interesting.
And this indicates, there's a very healthy appetite for investment out there right now and points to a very positive economic outlook for the region as a whole.
Yeah, it's like everyone wants a piece of the pie.
They're hungry.
They are.
Yeah, and, our research indicates that this boom is fueled by a number of factors.
Okay.
Rising disposable incomes, a growing middle class, increased foreign investment.
Right.
It's a perfect storm for businesses like Lulu.
So how does this all tie back to the average investor?
Right.
What does this Lulu IPO Tell us about the global financial landscape, because that's really what we're trying to uncover here.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I think it reveals a shift, in the global economy.
Okay.
A move away from these traditional markets and towards emerging economies.
Okay.
And we're seeing, similar trends in, say, India's credit market, which is experiencing rapid growth.
Interesting.
Fueled by those same factors, a burgeoning middle class, increased consumer spending.
So it's all interconnected, one giant game of financial dominoes.
Exactly. LuLu's IPO is kind of this window into this very complex web.
Okay.
And while the company is certainly, capitalizing on these trends,
right,
those same trends are shaping, the future of global business.
A lot to unpack there, but that's what we do here at the Deep Dives.
That's right.
We take these complex topics, we try to make them digestible, we try to help people understand what's really going on behind the scenes here.
Absolutely.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, there's one more crucial aspect of LuLu's story that we need to examine here. Our research highlighted some potential risks for LuLu, and, I think investors would be wise to pay attention to these.
Oh, absolutely. It's not all, sunshine and roses, as they say. One thing that stood out to me was LuLu's exposure to geopolitical risks.
Yep.
I mean, operating in the Gulf region means navigating, complex political landscapes, potential economic volatility.
That's a really good point. And then there's always the competition.
Right.
The grocery market is notoriously cutthroat.
It's a tough business.
It is.
And while LuLu, currently dominates, you've got new players, including these online retailers, constantly emerging.
Right.
So investors should consider how LuLu plans to maintain its market share in the face of that.
Yeah, and let's not forget the potential impact of, global economic slowdowns.
Right, because that's a factor that could affect consumer spending everywhere.
Absolutely.
Including the Gulf region.
Everywhere.
And, while the current outlook is positive, things can change quickly, so
it can.
It's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so much to consider. It's clear this IPO is about more than just one company.
Right.
It's really, it's a window into this exciting, this very dynamic world of global finance.
Absolutely.
And it's a good reminder that, every investment opportunity, it comes with risks.
Every single one. Yeah, there's no such thing as a sure thing.
No such thing as a sure thing.
No.
Well said. I think that's a good place to wrap it up then.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating to, really dig into this with you, learn about LuLu, but also what it tells us about the larger picture of what's happening in the global economy right now.
It really is fascinating to see how all of these different factors, these market trends, regional shifts, how they create these ripples far beyond the balance sheets.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, with LuLu expanding its reach, we're seeing other Gulf retailers eyeing IPOs.
Yeah.
Could we be on the verge of a power shift in the global grocery landscape?
That is the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And that's something, I would encourage our listeners to ponder as you continue to explore the world of global finance.
Keep those thinking caps on, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.